So as you guys know, I'm going through TBC. And of course, I am lost. So listen, I actually looked this up from the homie Nobbel. Man, Nobbel has a video for pretty much every situation, for everything. Jeez. The story of Burning Crusade Classic. Now, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure like when it comes to like classic and like retail stuff, I'm pretty sure it's almost 1-to-1, mission wise. I don't know how much stuff was retconned from classic to retail. Maybe Nobbel will explain it. Maybe like this is just a general idea of what TBC was all about. I'm not trying to be, a crazy lore master like Nobbel, but I would at least like to know kind of a little bit of, the element I'm working in, what's going on. So, of course, we had to turn to a professional. Subscribe to the homie Nobbel. Subscribe to me. Some bitch. Guys, let's take a full look of the story of the Burning Crusade. Let's rock.
This video is brought to you in collaboration with wowhead.com.
Ooh. Alright.
Hello everyone.
Hey Nobbel.
To understand what goes on during the Burning Crusade, we'll first have to cover a bit of history, a bit of background information, so all of it makes sense. This right here is Sargeras, leader of the Burning Legion. He wants to destroy the entire universe, including the planet of Azeroth. One day, he showed up on Argus to recruit the Eredar into his ranks. Archimonde and Kil'jaeden, they gladly joined, but Velen the Prophet, he could see that teaming up with Sargeras was a really bad idea. With the aid of the Naru, he managed to gather some of his people and escape the planet, which pissed off Kil'jaeden greatly, who then pursued them from planet to planet, until these now called Draenor could flee no more. Their ship had to make a crash landing on the planet of Draenor, home of the Orcs. For a while, things were going okay, until Kil'jaeden found them again. He turned the Orcs against the Draenor, manipulated them into forming the first horde, and then go to war.
Bro, I think this is also like, is this whole trailer TBC as well? Because of course I reacted to like all the cinematics, but like all the endgame stuff I still need to check out.
Have them drink the blood of Mag'har, which greatly empowered them, but also made them slaves to the Legion, to then finish their mission of eradicating the Draenor. Or at least so they thought. Velen and some of his people.
Bro, this is hard to believe that this was World of Warcraft, bro. Having people slaughtered in front of little kids. I need to check out this trailer. Well, this like in-game cinematic, bro.
Were able to hide away within the Zangarmarsh. This did leave the Orcs stuck on a corrupted, dying world. Sargeras wasn't quite done with them yet, though. Made contact while possessing the guard.
Wait, hold on. The time has come. Gul'dan. Order your warlocks to double their efforts. Moments from now, the gateway will be open and your horde will be released upon this ripe, unsuspecting world.
Sargeras wasn't quite
bro,
done
I
with
swear I thought that said something nefarious, bro. That's why I had to look really close.
Actually raid the Tower of Karazhan, which is the home of Medivh, and witness this duality, part guardian and protector of the world, part mad titan within. You also witness the moments of setting up the dark portal within the caverns of time. This is where the bronze...
Fuck. Also, when did you guys meet Medivh?
Also witness the moment...
This might be classic, actually. Let me see. I am grateful for you, champion. Now, guardians who will see the across this world like Lucas Swans, all my design.
Setting up the dark portal within the caverns of time. This is where the bronze dragons, they'll allow us to go back in time, make sure that events happen the way that they're supposed to do. Not just setting up the dark portal either. You'll also help Thrall escape Durnhold, so he can go about reform the horde. And you'll witness the battle at Mount Hyjal to defeat Archimonde, as we saw in Warcraft 3. So setting up the Dark Portal, it meant establishing a connection between the world of Azeroth and the world of Draenor, to then have the Horde come in and weaken the world for ultimately the Legion to claim. In response to the Horde's first invasion, the Alliance of Lordaeron rose up. They defeated the Horde, they placed those that surrendered within internment camps, and they shut down the Dark Portal, only for it to reopen and the Horde to try again. This time, not to conquer Azeroth. Their goal was to gather powerful artifacts, which would then allow them to open up more portals to different worlds. They even gained the assistance of the Black Dragon Deathwing. He would help out the Horde gathering their artifacts. In exchange, they would hide some of his Black Dragon eggs back on the world of Draenor. Now, in time, the Alliance of Lordaeron, the Sons of Lothar, they figured out what the Horde was up to, and they were not about to let them get away with it. Terrellian, Illyria Windrunner, Khadgar, Kurdan Wildhammer,
Right,
Dark
like all the
Trollbane, and
heroes that were
so
like locked on Outland, I believe. Yeah.
many others. They stepped through the portal to stop the Horde once and for all. They were successful, but not before many different portals were opened up across Draenor.
Wait. Are they alive? Khadgar, I've seen that name in game before.
They stepped through the portal to stop the Horde once and for
Yeah,
all.
isn't like this guy Khadgar? I believe.
They were successful, but not before many different portals
Bro, I
were
thought they were
opened up
dead.
across Draenor. The already corrupted world was about to blow, so Khadgar had no choice but to shut down the dark portal again. They fully expected to die, but they did not. Unknown
Okay.
to those that they left behind on Azeroth, the Sons of Lothar, they actually survived the transformation of Draenor into Outlands. Yet the dark portal, it remained shut, and time passed on. Sargeras and the Legion weren't quite done with trying to claim the world, though. During Warcraft 3, they made another attempt at it. Once
Oh.
more, the world rose up in its defense. Even Illidan's Stormrage was let out of his cage. He had always been an enemy of the Legion, and he had tried to destroy them from within by using the powers of the enemy against them. Something that his people couldn't really appreciate.
True.
So while he warned them that the Legion would come back, for 10,000 years they had left him to rot, watched over by Warden Mag'har. His time to shine had come though, as his warnings were proven right. Meanwhile, the Legion and the Lich King, they turned Arthas Menethil to the dark side. They had him corrupt the High
Good
Elf's
times.
source of power, the Sunwell, to bring Kel'Thuzad back as a Lich. They did manage to summon Archimonde onto the world, only for Archimonde to be blown up by a world tree.
Yeah,
Turns
yeah.
out that the Lich King wasn't loyal either, and they worked against Kil'jaeden. So while Illidan fought his war against the demons, Kil'jaeden recruited him to take care of his out-of-control creation, and Illidan once again pretended to work together with the demons. Failing miserably at destroying the Lich King, he gathered allies in the form of Lady Vash and Kil'fas Sunstrider. Kil'fas being the ruler of the now Blood Elves, formerly known as the High Elves. Losing their Sunwell, it had them deal with a massive magical addiction, and their prince thought that Illidan was their way to salvation. But Illidan's focus would always be on the destruction of the Legion.
You were right to come to me, Gale. I share the pain of your addiction, your hunger for magic.
Failing Kil'jaeden, it had them hide away in Outland, where he was first recaptured by Mag'har, who wasn't going to let a prisoner just do what he wanted. She chased him down all the way to Outland, where she was about ready to drag him back home, when Vash and Kil'fas showed up. They set the master free, and then it was time to claim Outland as their own, by working together with the Broken, led by Akama. These used to be Draenei, but had now devolved into Broken.
Hold on,
Together,
Akama. Bro. Wait, yeah, isn't that like that old shriveled up Draenei? I believe I met him on
they
Outland.
claimed the Black Temple, as well as the title of Lord of Outland from McFerrin. But hiding away from Kil'jaeden wasn't going to be that easy. One last chance was given to Illidan to end the Lich King, and once again, he failed.
Damn.
His allies dragged it back to Outland, where he continued working on his real plans, working in secret on his true war against the Burning Legion. Having McFerrin chained up, it meant that they could drain it of its blood, infusing hundreds of orcs, transforming them into ruthless, battle-crazed soldiers ready to fight for Illidan. At the Black
Okay, so
Temple,
that's how they got to be Red Orcs. I believe one of you guys also kind of explained that.
Blood Elves and Night Elves were started to be trained in the ways of the Demon Hunter, follow in Illidan's footsteps. More troops did mean that they were going to need more supplies. Food, it wasn't easy to come by on Outlands, and water was even more rare. Lady Vash was sent out to secure resources within the Zangarmarsh, while the Draenei that were still hiding there, they captured the main refuge, Terokkar, and they used its defenses to fend off the Naga. Eventually, Kil'jaeden realized that Illidan was more than just a nuisance, and could pose a real threat to the Legion. Was sending out more demons to try to take him out. Plans were made to stop him. The world, they already saw Illidan as the enemy, like they saw the Legion, something that Kil'jaeden could use to his advantage. As a bonus, if he could manipulate the Horde and the Alliance into committing their resources to Outlands, they would then leave Azeroth vulnerable to yet another Legion invasion. They could restore the Sunwell and use its power to create a gateway.
I just realized something, bro. Like, I know demon hunters can float, but why can't they fly? You know? I don't know. Small thing. I just thought it was a little bit odd. You know, this class has like huge wings, but yet like they can't fly. Like, can't like Drakthir fly? I believe they can now. Maybe Demon Hunter will get it in the future. That would be cool. That would be sick.
For Kil'jaeden to come in. All he had to do was manipulate Kil'fus, turn him to their sides, which, as it turns out, wouldn't be too much of a problem. You see, Illidan had taught Kil'fus and his people how to drain energy from artifacts, creatures, and the environment to sate their cravings for magic. Yet these methods, it only left the elves wanting more. The prince had started snorting fel magic, and Kil'jaeden whispered to him, told him that Illidan was holding out, and that the Legion could reveal the true power of fel. In exchange,
Snorting fel
all
magic.
he wanted was the prince to abandon Illidan's side. Over time, the trust in Illidan faded away, and Kil'fus, unknown to most of his people, decided to ally with Kil'jaeden. Now, this increase of demons coming into Outlands to fight with Illidan,
Damn.
made heroes like Khadgar and Velen pretty worried about the future. They reached out into the Great Dark Beyond to look for allies, and once more, the Naaru answered the call. Adal, Mu'uru, and Oros showed up on Outland with the dimensional fortress of Tempest Keep. Adal immediately surveyed Outlands, sensing Draenei scattered across the wasteland.
I've seen these things, but well, at least that thing before. I still have no fucking idea. Like, what the fuck is this thing?
As well as
I guess it's like some kind of power. It looks like some kind of power source, some kind of battery or something.
as well as these remnants of the Sons of Lothar. These creatures were divided, but they didn't have to be. They all sought to protect themselves from the Legion, so Adal rallied them at Shattrath City, leaving Mu'uru and Oros behind to watch over the dimensional fortress. Kil'fus and his Blood Elves, they gazed upon this otherworldly technology, and they wanted it for themselves. The prince decided that the time had come to abandon Illidan's side and make a base for their own within the Netherstorm. The
Damn.
Naaru left within, they stood no chance against these invaders. Oros still managed to magically block the elves from getting into their wing, but Mu'uru was not so lucky. They were captured and sent back to Quel'Thalas as a tasty snack for the elves to feast upon. Drain its holy light and birth the Blood Knights, the Blood Elf Paladins, led by Lady Liadrin. Now, seeing how the Blood Elves would eventually side
Wait,
with the
what?
Horde, this is how they brought Paladins into the faction. But this assault on the temple did not go unnoticed.
Wait, hold on, go back. The fuck?
Not so lucky. They were captured and sent back to Quel'Thalas as a tasty snack for the elves to feast upon. Drain its holy light and birth the Blood Knights.
Wait, these things contain holy light?
Blood Elf Paladins, led by Lady Liadrin. Now, seeing how the Blood Elves would eventually side with the Horde, this is how they brought Paladins into the faction. But this assault on the Tempest Keep.
That's how paladins got with the horde. I get it, but like I don't know, man. I've always like that's like a weird mix up, man. It feels weird having like those kind of paladins with the horde. I don't know.
It did not go unnoticed, and when Adal needed new allies from Azeroth, proposed to commandeer the
Holy
wing called
shit.
Exodar, Velen, the Broken Obundo, and some of their people, they signed up immediately. They managed to overpower the wing, which contained Oros. Off they went towards Azeroth, not knowing that the Blood Elves had sabotaged the vessel before they took off. A crash landing would once again be their entry into a new world. One where they signed up with the Alliance, and Obundo brought shamanism to the faction.
How exactly do you crash into a planet? That's what I want to know.
Back on Outlands, this newfound technology
True.
it allowed
Very true.
Kil'fus to build mana forges, farm the chaotic magics within Netherstorm. Over time, these forges weakened the fabric of reality even further, and it
that
attracted
fucking
the
mountain.
attention of the Ethereals. They're a race of gifted scientists and magi who originally come from the world of Karesh. But their pursuit of knowledge and arcane technologies, it had opened up a rift into the void and drew the wrath of Dimensius the All-Devouring. Dimentias had bathed their world in volatile energies that slowly tore it apart, and the Kareshi had desperately tried to shield themselves from harm. Their efforts had only partially worked. Their magic had blocked Dimentias' shadowy power, but raw arcane energy shattered their physical bodies. All that remained were their souls, bristling with magic. From that day forward, these incorporeal creatures, they called themselves Ephirials, splintering off into different factions. Some of them became nomads and traders, roaming the cosmos in search of sources of magic and powerful artifacts. Others swore to destroy Dimentias, and if there's power or a bargain to be made, the Ephirials will be there.
And now you dare enter my realm. You are not prepared.
That's the major background going into the Burning Crusade. Kil'jaeden the Deceiver has decided that it's time for Azeroth to come to Outland, help him out dealing with Illidan, the fierce Doomlord Kha'Zix. They were guided through a great ritual to reopen the rift at the Dark Portal. The Legion forces then also poked at the Horde and the Alliance within their capital cities, pushing them to come take them on to step through the portal into a brand new world. For most of these soldiers, it was the first time that they'd seen the broken world. Many of the orcs, they had been there before, but even they were shocked by what they witnessed.
You are not prepared.
The Path of Glory, paved with the bones of slain Draenor. It runs from the portal all the way to Hellfire
Why didn't you guys tell me about that fucking road? Damn!
Citadel. On the right, the Horde
Bro,
set up
it's hard to believe this is the same game, man. Like, it's... What? Huh?
the
Wow.
base of Thrallmar, while on the left, the Alliance enters
Paved a
Honorhold,
road with
and immediately
bones.
runs into Dun of Trollbane. This base was built when the Sons of Lothar stepped
Yeah,
through
Trollbane.
themselves, and it's still standing, even after Outland's transformation. We'll run into the other lost heroes in just a moment. All of them except for Illyria and Turellian. They would remain missing for quite a while, but that doesn't stop their son Arator from looking for them. From Honorhold and Thrallmar, the Alliance and the Horde, they continue their offensive against the Legion. That Hellfire Citadel, it was once upon a time the Horde's military staging grounds. These days, it's been taken over by Karkov Bladefist in the name of Illidan's Stormrage. Deep beneath the Citadel, that is where they locked away the Pit Lord Mag'har. With his blood
Ooh.
added, the Fell Orcs show no mercy, are offered none in return. While the captured Pit Lord, their supply of blood, is sent back to the Twisting Nether. And while avoiding the massive Fell Reavers patrolling the area, our forces moved on into the Zangarmarsh, the spots where Velen and the Draenor hid away after the fall of Shattrath. Vashan and Naga, they have control of all the waters of Outlands, and through it have taken control of its people. Much like the Horde's attack on Mag'har within Hellfire Citadel.
What the fuck is Nobbel? I mean, I'm not
was
mad, I'm
also
just wondering.
successful, sending off Lady Vash into the Shadowlands.
Lord Illidan, I am sorry.
Above the Zangarmarsh, there are the Blade Edge Mountains, where once upon a time, Khadgar and the Sons of Lothar, they took on the Black Dragon aspect Deathwing. They weren't particularly looking for this fight, but at this point in time, Deathwing had been working together with the Orcs. In exchange, they hit some of his ex on Draenor, but then he noticed a powerful artifact, the Skull of Gul'dan. He wanted that one as well, and since the Orcs saw no further use in it, they gave it away. This skull was a key component for Khadgar to shut down the Dark Portal, so their battle commenced. This is the fight that earned Gruul the Dragon Killer title. Even now, you can still see many of Deathwing's brood spiked upon the cliffs. The aspect himself was forced to retreat back then, and was kind enough to drop the skull. His son Sibilian is still hanging
Oh, it's hard to
around.
believe this
Not
is the same
surprisingly,
game.
the Black Dragon isn't too fond of Gruul or the Grun and their ogre servants. We get to join him in taking a whole bunch of them out, eventually even raiding into Gruul's lair itself. Quite a hostile dragon, but there is one that Sibilian quite likes.
Rexxar?
of the Mag'har. The half-ogre, half-orc saw the necessity of
Holy
allying
shit.
with the original Horde. His father Leorax disagreed, rejected the old Horde, and his son is no longer welcome amongst them. That's why we're the ones helping out his dad against those that would threaten their Mag'har clan, like the local ogres. A small favor for such a legend as the Rexxar, champion of the Horde.
I hunt alone.
Then, within Terokkar Forest, we find the remnants of the city of Shattrath that I mentioned.
It's good to
Many
know
of the
he's still
Draenor
doing
were
good,
slaughtered here to make it look like the Horde was successful, like they'd wiped them all out just as Kil'jaeden wanted. These days, the city sees some activity again, since the Naru Adal has made it their base of operations. And this is where we also find Khadgar. Seeing his old model again is going to be quite a shock. The mage is gonna torture newcomers once more, with his elemental giving a tour of the city, an escort quest that takes like 10 minutes to complete. Ah well, at least you will get some sweet lore and explanation about what's going on within the city. A city where you'll find two major factions, the Aldor and the Scryers, and you'll have to make a meaningful choice.
Naturally, I whipped up the thought bot, looked at the rewards.
The Aldor, they're Draenor that had continued their worship of the Holy
What?
Light within the Stronghold's ruins. It was their holy energies that had drawn Adal to the city. Under the Naru's guidance, the scattered
I don't know
island
what the fuck
forces
that
then
was.
came together and they started to rebuild. The Scryers, their blood elves sent out by
Shit.
Kil'jaeden in order of Illidan to take them out but they were still weak. Instead, the blood elves laid down their weapons in front of the city's defenders. Their leader, a blood elf elder known as Voronval, they stormed into the Terrace of Light and demanded to speak to Adal. I've seen you in a vision, Naru. My race's only hope for survival lies with you. My followers and I are here to serve you. The Naru accepted the defectors, and while the Aldor are followers of the light, forgiveness and redemption are values that they understand. They still find it hard to forget the deeds of the Blood Elves while under Kael's command. Many of the priesthood have been slain by the same magisters who now vow to serve the Naru. They're not exactly happy to share the city with their former enemies, so picking one
True.
won't make you any friends with the other. Still, there are some sweet rewards awaiting to be earned. And if we look outside of the city, the main thing that stands out, that is the bone waste with Auchindoun in the middle. Auchindoun, it used to be a
Auchindoun.
sacred burial ground for the Draenor, their holiest site on the world, a spot that they desperately want to defend from the rising hordes. For a while, Exarch Maladar and his forces, they were successful in this, but the new powers granted to the orcs by Kil'jaeden were absolutely incredible. Pooling their powers together, they hoped to summon a powerful demon into the world. In their wild desperation, the warlocks summoned something far different.
Damn.
An otherworldly, elemental creature known as Murmur materialized within Auchindoun, pulled the Draenor from a distant corner of the universe. The shockwave of its arrival ripped the earth asunder, killing many of the Draenor and blasting apart the Tomb City. That's why this whole area is destroyed, because this otherworldly elemental creature from a distant corner of the universe. Maladar and a handful of the Draenor, they were able to shield themselves from the blast, but they no longer had the numbers to stand up against the orcs. They were chained up, while Murmur was contained. A few warlocks staying within the Tomb City to keep the creature from getting loose and wreaking havoc on the hordes. Now, a far more untouched and pristine land, a taste of the beauty that was once Draenor, that can be found within Nagrand. This is where the Draenor ship crashed, with a dying Naru inside. That Naru has then been unwillingly drawing in the souls of the orcs, but the orcs didn't know this. All they knew was that this spot was great to be communicating with their ancestors, so this became their holy site. It also houses the Throne of Elements, the spot where the Furies of Water, Earth, Fire and Air hang out. You could also join Hammett
the Avatar?
Mercenary on his latest safari, call some of the wildlife. Take on the opposite faction at Halla, a Draenor research facility for the study of Naru crystals. Take on the challenge of Gurtak and Woden at the Ring of Blood. Team up with your friends, take on powerful challenges, earn mighty rewards. The Horde is going to meet up with the Mag'har Orcs, those that were able to remain uncorrupted, untouched by the demonic bloods. The name Garrosh, it might sound familiar, son of Gromush. This is where we see him for the very first time,
Holy
left
shit.
behind by his father as he joined the Horde into Azeroth. All Garrosh knew was that his father was the first to step up and drink the demonic blood, become corrupted, and that shadow has weighed heavy on his soul. He is quite depressed and doesn't believe to be the right orc to pick up the mantle of leadership. We do try to help him out, and while doing so, we chat with Great Mother Geisha. Turns out that she is the mother of Duratan, Thrall's father, so we quickly run to a war chief to let him know that we found some of his family, and when he visits the village, he also meets the son of his good friend Gromush, explaining to Hellscream that yes, his father had made mistakes, but he also sacrificed all that he had to slay the Pitlord Manoroth and free all of their people. There was more to the Hellscream name, and this moment right here would have huge effects for the future of the Horde. We're gonna have to keep
Very
it
true.
focused on the
Very
Burning
true.
Crusade, though. So let's fly from the least transformed area to the most one. Let's head on over to the
Bro, so much
Netherstorm.
shit happened
The
in
chaotic
TBC.
magics of the Twisting Nether have done quite a number on the lands. If you want a glimpse,
And like I
as to
noticed, like
what
really all the
Netherstorm
stuff
used
really does. It doesn't like really cross over so much as like it's all like basically a condensed story in one place.
to look like.
I mean,
Then
you
all
guys
need to
also
do
did
is
mention
peek
that, but
under the
man.
domes. Area 52, that is our main town here, run by goblins.
Like it's just adventure
working
after
really hard
adventure
on their
after
space
adventure.
program. Entering town won't make you see a flash of light, nor will it erase your memories. This little town is jam-packed with little references. Now, as you quest through Outland, you'll run into the Ethereals here and there. That whole war that they got going on with Dimensions the All Devouring, that is one that we get to help them with. All the while, our gaze is drawn to the occupied Tempest Keep. It wasn't easy for the Blood Elves to rise up against their prince. Many of them didn't want to believe the story surrounding him, on how he supposedly signed up with the Burning Legion itself. But visiting Netherstorm, seeing for themselves what their prince had been up to, it was undeniable.
Oh, he popped res.
Kil'Thuzad had embraced fell magic and became the Legion's pawn. He was their prince no more, so the Horde made war on Kil'Thuzad and his followers, spilling his blood within the Eye, one of the wings of the Tempest Keep, but not ending him for good.
Tempest Keep was merely a setback.
We'll get to that setback in just a moment. There is one last zone to explore, Shadowmoon Valley. You remember those X that Deathwing decided to hide away on the planets?
Yeah.
Well, they were still there when the planet was engulfed and transformed into Outlands. That infusion with raw nether energies, it created a whole new dragonflight, which is called the Netherwing. Their special nature and abilities draws the attention from those with good and bad intentions. They'll have to find their own path in life, where you can earn your rank amongst the Dragonmaw clan and ride these beauties yourself. In this final zone, there's also the final missing hero, Kurdran, holding the line here for the Sons of Lothar from within their Wildhammer strongholds. They're keeping an eye on the Black Temple and report back to Khadgar. By now, most of Illidan's allies, they've either fallen or walked away. The Broken Akama is not pleased that his beloved Black Temple is still a house of darkness. His time serving Illidan has been full of suffering and disappointment, so he decided to betray the betrayer. Free Maiev from her cage that they put her in, and help with the assault upon the Black Temple. Inside, we restore Akama's soul, and we free the Ash Tongue from Illidan's service. We also take on Terokkar Fiend, the first of the Death Knights from the original Hordes. He was once slain by Terrellian, but during our questing in Shadowmoon Valley, we accidentally bring him back, so it's best to clean our mess up. Step by step, we clean out the Black Temple, until only Illidan is left standing. While his demon hunters are off on a different mission, the Lord of Outland gives it all that he has. But ultimately, he falls to Azeroth's might.
It's finished. You are beaten.
Just as Kil'jaeden wanted, we took out a huge threat to the Legion's plans. Now we could push forward with another invasion of Azeroth. Kil'Thuzad, he was brought back from the brink of death.
Of course.
Little was
Of
left
course he
of the
was.
Elves' minds. He was now Kil'jaeden's loyal servant, and would do whatever his master asked, even attacking his own city. The Naru, as well as Envinatik, the essence of their original Sunwell, they were taken away, used to reform
Who the
their
fuck was
ruined
that?
Sunwell. With energy from the mana cells that they gathered in Netherstorm, Kil'Thuzad fortified his ritual, weaving the Sunwell's power into a gateway for Kil'jaeden to come through. As he worked, some of the Blood Elves fled to Outlands to warn the Horde leadership. Amongst them was Lady Liadrin. Times were pretty tough for the Elves, considering they had just dealt with the resurgence of their ancient enemy, the Amani trolls at Zulaman. Liadrin had witnessed Kil's assault with her own eyes and pledged her loyalty to a doll. The Naru welcomed her into their new order that had been forged to stand against the prince. This Shattered Sun offensive, the Draenor of the Aldor, the Blood Elves of the Scryers, they marched upon the Sunwell and they took on the Legion. They disrupted Kil'Thuzad's spellwork long enough for more help to arrive. The Horde went on a hunt for Kil'Thuzad himself within the Magis's Terrace. This time they truly ended him. Meanwhile, the Alliance, they infiltrated the Sunwell Plateau, and they stopped Kil'jaeden from entering the worlds. Once more, Azeroth was spared from the Legion, but there were consequences. Kil'Thuzad's meddling, it had tainted the Sunwell yet again, and again its corruptive energies would spell doom for the Elves. Luckily for them, Velen the Prophet offered a solution. By using the core of the slain Naru Mu'uru, they could purify and reignite the Sunwell. not only getting rid of its corruption, but also buying the Blood Elves a brand new future, a brand new source of magic to feast upon.
In time, the light and hope held within will rebirth more than this mere fount of power. Mayhap they will rebirth the soul of a nation.
Blessed ancestors, I feel it.
Holy shit.
So much love. So much grace.
It's beautiful.
There are no words. Impossible to describe.
Salvation, young one. It waits for us all.
And that's the major story that goes on during the Burning Crusade. It is quite a beast of an expansion when you try to condense the different little storylines that play
so
out.
much shit
I wonder
that
how
goes
we'll
on
manage when
in this
Wrath of
one
the Lich King
expansion.
Classic comes around. I'll link a separate playlist in the description down below with videos that relate to this expansion. Some things I've only mentioned in passing. Say that you want full details on like the story of Illidan or Nobundo or Envinatik. I've covered those in separate videos, which are linked down below. Alternatively, you could also check out the Relay It Wild article for more details on all the things that we talked about today. Read up on it in your own time. Now say that you really like this video, maybe you want to leave a thumbs up. You could also subscribe if you want to be kept up to date on future uploads as well. And yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say today. That just leaves me with a thank you very much for watching, everybody. And until next time, see ya!
See you later, Noble. God damn, bro. There's so much that goes on in TBC. From the Naga, from the scribes, from Illidan, Kale. Fuck. How Paladins got introduced. Man, bro, there's so much, bro. And I'm missing, like, so much. Because, like, there's just so much information jam-packed, like, in this one. I don't know how Noble does it. This man really loves what he does to remember all of this shit. Oh. Guys, I need to get back on TBC. I need to get to work. So that's gonna do it, man. Thank you, Noble. This was fun. This was awesome. Wow. Anything you guys would like to add, feel free to drop it in the comments below after you hit that subscribe button. God damn it. Hit that subscribe button. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. This was, again, jam-packed full of lore. Wow. Take care. And bye-bye.